I was trying to help her. I was trying to take something off her plate, but she took it the wrong way. And so I tried to explain to her that's not what I meant. And I was trying to help and blah, 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 and all this other stuff, all this other crap starts falling out of our mouth as men when we try to explain ourselves. When you try to explain or defend yourself, it's going to come across as you're telling her that she's wrong. You're telling her that her feelings are wrong. You're telling her that, she might hear, he thinks I'm stupid. He thinks I don't get it. And then it's only going to cause her to defend herself more and more and put herself more and more in a masculine shell. Right. So I want to give you permission. We talked about this on today's The C Note Show. Cynthia and I did, that you don't need to explain yourself. As a matter of fact, stop explaining yourself. It's not helping. I think you put an exclamation point here. It's not helping to explain yourself. You're trying to treat her like your guy friend, your male friend, and like, oh, if I understand logically, then that would all make this all better. No, it's okay. And I want to ask you, Cynthia, you talked about on the C Note Show today, it's okay if she in that moment misinterprets your intention.
Yeah.
Trying to explain it, though, is what happens when you try to explain, when a man tries to explain and she's already in defensive mode. She's like upset in this moment and he tries to logically explain that what she's feeling isn't correct in some kind of way. Or what happens for a woman when that happens? So this man's having difficulty, right? Maybe she said she wants space. He's trying to explain himself. Why is that a bad idea?
Yeah, well, you're giving her interpretation of the situation power in that instance. And when the over explaining happens, it siphons out your kingly energy. And I'm all for, empathizing and hearing your woman. That's really important. But when you give credence to something that isn't true, it's going to she's either going to use that as like a fighter to fight back, fodder to fight back. She's going to use it as information to reassure herself that a story she does believe about you is true, or she's just going to disengage from engagements with you if it constantly she feels your lack of intention, lack of leadership, lack of kingly energy. The powerful thing to do is to hear what she says, and you can let that filter through. Is there any truth? Is there anything that you want to change? And then hold the tension of that. Move into what you are truly wanting and excited to do in this relationship or with your child, and continue to move forward on that. That's what fosters a trust of you. It fosters her to begin to respect you. And it's taking away that ball of energy from her declaration or her story. And until that ball of energy is, thrown away, until she can dissolve it in her own self, there's no way to prove her wrong or change the dynamic between the two of you.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't a confrontational situation. You're not trying to bring masculine into masculine and fight. I know that's not what you're trying to do, but realize that's what's happening is you're giving her the frame when you're describing and explaining yourself into her frame, whether it's, Cynthia was saying it's true or not, and it's not true to you in that moment. That's okay. So the ninja level skill is to hold that tension. Okay. And I'll give you a practice for that here in a second. But if you're not yet a part of our live, the C Note Show, we host Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. You're missing out. We have guys from all around the world. You can talk with them through Zoom while we're on the call, as well as seeing the clips that we have to cut out of YouTube for censorship issues, right? And also all the cutting edge stuff that we're bringing to our shows. Get the live link, greatmenmovemountains.com/cnote. And so for your cherry on top of how to hold tension in that moment is to try a pattern break for your own self. Okay. So number one, you have to know what it feels like before you vomit all over everything. And usually it's tension in your head, tension in your chest or your throat. You got to know what that feels like. Okay. Number two, give yourself some compassion in that moment and smile a little bit that you have this tension. Right. And then number three, allow yourself to make a mistake in that moment, or allow her to make a mistake in that moment. Well, when we try to hold ourselves to a perfectionist attitude, or I need to be perfect, or there's a mistake there, I need to point that mistake out that she made or I made, or I'm a bad person and all this judgment, you just press pause on all of that, smile about the tension that's going on, and allow a mistake to be made. Right? Bring it up again later, bring it up again tomorrow if really is necessary. But a huge piece of the man she wants you to be is to feel powerful, even though there's tension, and to be able to lead her forward into an inspiring life. An inspiring life is not explaining yourself over and over and picking at things, right? So I appreciate that. Cynthia, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.
Go move mountains one step at a time, guys.
Subscribe.
Want more affection, love and sex in your marriage? Want less paralyzing fear and rejection? Join us live Monday to Friday Zoom call, men only, greatmenmovemountains.com/C-Note. The C-Note Show, free daily call.
This I've got to see.
It's worth watching, so stay tuned.